Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Let me get this up. All right, don't swear anymore. None of my people know about swearing.
Fuck!
That's a lie. I guarantee they swear on the daily.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Sarana. I know I'm a couple minutes early because I figured I'd like say hello and all that. This is kind of a longer class, so I wanted to give everyone a chance to come in, say our hellos, and then hopefully get to it because there's a lot to go over the next couple classes. Hi, Cass. Hi, Danny and Stephanie. I didn't do the homework yet. That's okay. The homework is just, for you to make sure that you're getting a hang of it. I do hope that before the actual initiation part of it, that you will do as much of the homework as you can. And I will tell you that before the self-dedication, we'll talk a little bit about the timeline and stuff. But before the self-dedication, I will want to see that you at least have done some of that kind of stuff so that I know that you're kind of following along with us, that you're serious about what we're doing and about your path and that kind of thing. So, hi, Pat. Usually 5 minutes after. I know. But I'm sitting here and if you'll notice that I have, I'm downstairs. And so I wanted to make sure, because it's a longer class, I wanted to make sure that I kind of got going because, hey, I should be the loud one. I don't know what they're talking about. It's not like I gave them loud voices.
Frank's calling me a P-U-S-S-Y because I can't drink spiced rum anymore because I threw up on it one time and now it makes me smell. She told me I'm not allowed to swear, so...
You are a pussy.
I know I'm a pussy, but it's because I threw up on it. Now I can't, the smell of it immediately... It immediately makes me want to throw up. I can't do it anymore.
I hear you. That's all right. So anyways, and Peter gets out at 10 because the time changed now. It's back to 10 p.m. instead of 9, so at least I have a little bit longer. So we're downstairs. All right. Hello. Hi, Amber Moonrise. Hi, Amethyst. Johnny Dragon. Hello. Hi, Red Rum. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. You know we love you. I know I've been so busy. I'm so sorry. I mean to message you like every day, and it's just been crazy, but you know I love you. Hi, Kay. Hi, Deb. Fableist. Hi. And Thomas is here. Hello. Trying to figure out how to get the chat to move to the side of the video instead of under it. If you put it, you're probably in theater mode. So if you go to the bottom right of the video itself, yeah, there you go. All right. Remember, we are all here for you, little one. Yes, exactly. Yes. Hi, Donna. Just got in. Schools and early learning centers across Ontario are now closed, locked, and bolted. Not sure when I'll get back to work. Well, Kay, on the good side, you'll have extra time with us. I know that's not, the way you wanted to get extra time with us, but that's kind of happened in a lot of places. All right. Am I feeling better? Yes, I am. I'm feeling better. And actually, It was not a sickness. It was my mother. If you all like have followed us, me enough to know that my mother and I have a complicated relationship, to say the very least, you'll know that she showed up on, when was it, Wednesday? And totally, but I'm not going to waste time about that here. I will talk about it eventually at some point, but not here. I just, yep. Sent you a message on Facebook. Did you get it? Uh-oh, I may not have. Was it today, Pamela? Complicated is putting it nicely, right? It's all right. I'm okay. Your mother could be classed as a kind of sickness. That's exactly true. That is very true, Stephen. I should remember that. No, a few days ago. Let me take a look. Facebook has bumped me into, I'm one of the testers for the new Facebook. And so I'm still trying to figure everything out. And some of the stuff that used to be there is in a different place. So I will specifically look and find it, though, Pamela, I promise. Your mother is worse than bubonic plague and coronavirus together. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. You are so right. Yeah, my mother and I do not have. Yeah, it's not the new Facebook. They're rolling out a new, I don't know how to say it, a new, like an update. And so some people, they're trying to have test the new update so that we can work out the bugs and stuff. So like people who have different groups and stuff like that, they are trying to make it happen so that we can say ahead of time, this doesn't work and that works, and can't you work things out? Sonia, I continually try, and I will continue to try. I love my mother because she's my mother, but her and I just, it's kind of like oil and water. She's very selfish and has been forever and ever. And so, and controlling on top of it. So here I am at 47 years old, and she's, still trying to put me right under there. And then is extremely upset when it's not working and doesn't understand. If I'm like, nope, sorry, that's not going to happen that way, then it blows up. So, kids here get a 2-week spring break. That will screw up my kids' graduation. Ugh, I know it. Before trying to roll out new things, I know. Is it the witch thing? Actually, Sonia, it is not. Not. She knows about it, and she's fairly good with it, and she'll even get me stuff, like buy me stuff that has to do with the craft, even though she doesn't understand it. She does once in a while say something completely idiotic that I'm like, mother, like I will tell you, she hates my Krampus. If you all have seen here, I'll show you my Krampus. She, as a matter of fact, she mentioned again, see my Krampus? She mentioned again, oh, I hate that thing. I don't know why you have that thing. I'm like, yep. I love it. And I kind of love it way more because you hate it. Hi, Mystical Melissa. Yeah, of course Krampus is great, right? I just love it way more. I got my room back. No, not really. This is kind of the room that is our bedroom and half of my witchy stuff and stuff like that. So, but I'm here. I have to. Yep, I have it just to piss you off. Exactly. That's exactly it. I kind of don't mind that it pisses her off at all. Okay. Before I begin, I just want to, do you collect thimbles? I don't collect thimbles just because they're thimbles, but I do have some thimbles that have something to do with either me. I have a couple that are squirrels, and I have a couple that have to do with paganism. In a roundabout way. So, yes. So you're still a Rebels in your 30s? Sure, Danny. Yep, absolutely. I've always been the black sheep. Tell her it's Dumbledore. What do you mean? Okay, so I want to just address something really quickly that was brought to me after our last live, so after Tarot Tuesday. And that is that, you know, sometimes we grow up with words in our vernacular that did not mean something bad when we grew up. And as a person who very much cares about not hurting everyone, and I specifically try to make sure that I'm not, especially vulnerable people, that I'm not putting them in a category that they should not be in, or I'm not saying anything that would purposely hurt them. Someone brought up to me that I was using a word that is not a word I should be using anymore. And it was something that when she brought it up, I thought, oh, I am using that, aren't I? And so I'm going to say it one more time, even though now I'm like, oh, I'm trying to just get it out of my vernacular completely because it's not a word I want to be using because it does hurt people. So it is retard. And I use it not to have anything to do with anyone with special needs. But when I grew up, that was actually a medical term. And as a matter of fact, I have an uncle who is severely special needs, who can't even speak, who literally like grunts instead of speaking. He's wonderful and I love him. But, and I remember when we grew up saying, I have a retarded uncle. And that was the term that we used. But as times change and it, you know, becomes outdated and things mean different things, and saying that means that I would be hurting people, I want to do that. So I have apologized to this person and to a couple of people, and I wanted to come on and just say that, you know, I am aware, and I apologize. And yes, it's considered a slur against people with learning or developmental disorders now. Exactly. And that is not ever, and those of you who know me know that is not ever anything that I would do on purpose. I would never have, you know, purposely made a slur like that against anyone. So I'm going to make a point to get that out of my vernacular. And it's not something that I don't know, I consciously thought about. So I'm glad that someone felt comfortable bringing it up to me, because now that gives me the opportunity to learn and to grow. And I never mind that. So okay. Well, that's not good, Red Room. I say she's a controlling, but I'm a people pleaser. All right. I know, and I appreciate it, you guys. But I did, you know, I did want to bring it up and just address it because it's, you know, something that I need to be aware of, and to say too that I hope you guys all know that if something like that comes up and you notice something, that you feel like you can come to me and say something, because hopefully you know that I would never purposely hurt anyone. So if that happens for some reason, I either misunderstood what I was saying, or you misunderstood what I was saying, or I was not aware of what it is. Okay. So now, and I'm still not started, let's quickly talk about the timeline. Thank you, Emma. I'm not going to say I accepted it with class, but it did. I try to always be open to how I can grow. And if someone comes to me, then I want to know that I hurt someone, whether it was on purpose or not, so that then I can take that and grow from it. Hi, Edward. Okay, so let's talk about the timeline and where we're at, because guess what, guys? Next week is Ostara. that came up on us really damn quickly.
Why would that occur?
So we have
Sorry, don't relate.
we have this class plus what I think is going to be 2 more classes. And this is what I've come up with. Actually, Stephen helped me too, and we kind of talked it back and forth, and to let me know what you guys think. For Ostara, what I would like to do is do the 2 more classes that we have left to do. Which is, I'm not going to tell you, but there's one that's fairly big. So it may be kind of a longer class. And then on Saturday, after hopefully giving you guys at least a couple days to do homework, although Friday, how did I decide this, Stephen? We talked about it. I want to give you guys the time to do the homework, but I want to keep on track, at least with the self-dedication part of the class. The initiation part, because there's so much more that I could pack into this class for the initiation part. My thought is I'm going to keep going until Beltane. Although I may bring it down to 1 day a week. I have to look at it. But if we can get through the next 2 classes and you guys are right on course with me and you feel comfortable and you believe, like I do, that you are ready to do a self-dedication for yourself, then what I would like to do at that point is those of you who want to do self-dedication or self-dedication and initiation, I will send out those people the several different versions of a self-dedication so that you can look at it, figure out which one you want to do, get whatever you need. If you need anything, there'll be some of them a little bit more elaborate than others, and prepare yourselves to do the self-dedication. I would like to postpone the initiation part of it until after Ostara. So probably Beltane, because there's a whole lot more material that I can fit into this, and we can push it all the way till Beltane, which is May 1st, which will give us another month and a half to get prepared for that initiation part of it, because I believe that the initiations should be more in depth. How does that sound? So Sonia, in the first video, honey, I'm going to refer you back to the first video, and we discussed in detail the difference between self-dedication and initiation. I just don't want to get bogged down because we have a new class to do tonight. But the difference in a nutshell is self-dedication is for you to say, I am ready to follow this path, and I want to commit with myself and my deities and the universe that I'm ready to move on. An initiation is to the Squirrel Coven, to my teachings and stuff specifically, which is much more in depth, like what I teach. Okay, does that sound good? Beautiful. Sounds good, sounds good, sounds good. Good. Squirrel Coven. I know that's not really what it's called. Actually, Peter figured it out, and now I can't remember. Shoot. It's official. We are a cult. It's something with word, and it was perfect, and I have it still someplace, but I can't remember. Okay. Beautiful. So if you are one of those who is going to want to do the self-dedication this weekend, try to do as much of the homeworks as you can. And then Friday will be a very light homework, if anything at all. Word Haven, thank you. Thank you, Stephen. I knew you would. You guys would know it. And Sonia, you knew it too, huh? Thank you, thank you. Right? I know it does seem like just yesterday, right? It's going quick. Unbelievably quick. Here I was the one saying no cults. All right, so does that sound good? Do you want us to message you if we want to, or wait to tell you next week? I will have in the, let's say, Wednesday's homework. So there will be homework Wednesday. In Wednesday's homework, there will be a question. Do you want to self-dedicate and initiate, self-dedicate, or initiate? So there will be options, and that way you can let me know. Okay. Equality is a lie promoted by, oh, I missed it. Hold on. I just have to look. Sorry. I love trolls. Promoted by blood-sucking parasites who seek to infest real humans, similar to. Well, that's original, Stevie. Okay, beautiful. Let's start, guys, because this is a big topic. All right, so we're going to start with the elements. And because we already looked at deity, I'm not going to talk very much about deity, a little bit at the very end. But hi, Ben. But not in detail about spirit. Because even though there's 5 elements on the pentacle or the pentagram, we're going to talk about the 4 elements that are not spirit for the most part, because we already kind of talked about deity and that kind of thing a little bit more in detail. So we are going to start with earth. First of all, let me say too, usually a person is connected to one of the 4 elements more than the others. Sometimes it has to do with your zodiac. So sometimes, in my case, I'm a Libra, and my zodiac has Libra is associated with air, which is very much what I'm associated with. That is not always the case, but that can give you a clue. So if you're looking for what element you're associated with more, I will initiate because I already self-dedicated. Beautiful. If you're looking for what element you are associated with more, you can start with your zodiac symbol. If you are a Libra and air just does, after we talk about all of this, air just doesn't seem to go with the way that you feel about life and spirituality, excuse me, and earth, and what your magic is, then try to figure out, based on the different elements, what you connect to more. It does not always coordinate with your zodiac, and that's okay. If it works for you, it works, right? So keep that in mind. But you do want to start thinking about what element you associate with the most. Usually it's one that's overwhelmingly more that element, and sometimes there's another one that's very close, but usually it's one overwhelmingly. What are you coughing for? I know, it's funny because I inhaled my own spit, which I often do when I'm teaching. At work though, anytime like the air is dry or anything and you're coughing, everyone looks at you. Nobody wants to cough right now. Where did that come from? That's very weird. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start with earth. When you think of earth, what comes to mind? Perhaps you feel the stable element of solidity and grounding. Maybe you see earth as the 3rd planet from the sun. Or for you, earth is the rich brown soil in your backyard. Earth is all of these things and more. One of the great things about being polytheistic is the ability to look at many aspects of an idea. So we can dense, perfect, yes, that what you can feel, right? Earth is a term we use to describe one of four very basic forces in nature. We call these basic forces elements since they are the building blocks that make up just about everything around us. Stable, grounding, yes, yes, yes. That's right. Strength, yes. I'm confused. What if it feels best for you to keep all elements combined and balanced? Then, Lady Blind Wolf, then you can do that. Most people, though, find it easier. Once we talk about the correspondences, usually you go, oh, yeah, that's me. Oh, yeah, that's me. So let's wait until we get there. But usually you're like, oh, that one seems more easy. Not that you can't try to balance all of them, but usually one element in particular will be like the way your go-to, your most natural. Personal thing for each of us, it's usually thought of as being very stable, tangible, steady. Someone who might wish to maintain status quo or slow down change in their life might think of the element of earth. Earth might also be used to strengthen something, making it solid as a rock, right? Think of the three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. While watery liquids might slip through your fingers, airy gas might float beyond reach, but something solid is easy to grasp. Earth can be the manifestation of tangible actions, where the rubber meets the road, indeed, and not just words or thought. For example, if you wanted to use the element of earth to build a museum, you might take physical, tangible action. Actually lay the brick rather than merely signing a petition or dreaming about a plan. See the difference there? So if you were signing a petition or dreaming about a plan, that would be kind of one or the other elements. That tangible, actual action is more of what earth means. Fire sparks the idea. Air thinks about how to do it. Water greases the wheels, but earth actually makes it manifest, actually makes it real form. So elements are not standalone concepts. They combined and react. Early 1500s, Agrippa wrote that elements can be transformed into one another, which they called alchemy at the time. That's where alchemy came from. Like the way salt dissolves in water or a wooden log. Can we apply this principle to magically transform our own situation? Absolutely. Are there obstacles in your own life you'd like to dissolve? So that's one way we can do that, is to combine two different elements in order to make that happen. Are there problems you'd like to just burn away? Is there something flowing past you so quickly you wish you could freeze it still just for a moment? Perhaps elemental magic works no differently than the things we see around us every day. See this transformation as you strive to change a few extra pounds into a few extra push-ups. Feel it as the warmth within your own heart melts away even the coldest barriers between you and someone you love. What are you guys talking about? How old you are? How did we get on to how old we are? You guys are so funny. You think I'm a squirrel. Goofballs. People react and combine just like earth, air, fire, and water. You may even find that we pass through elemental phases as we grow up. So we may change the element that we associate with.
Oh my God, you freaking Jesus Christ.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
What happened?
The Pyrex exploded.
What?
Yeah.
Pyrex?
Yeah.
Give me one second.
Super weird.
It doesn't matter what it touches. Pyrex. It's not supposed to fucking.
Oh my
do that.
God.
Yeah.
The meat.
I mean,
Shit. It really exploded.
yeah.
God damn it. All that meat. I'm sitting here going,
How do I
could
fix
we
this?
save it?
I mean, the only thing
No.
seen a Pyrex.
Me neither. It's, in fact, take a picture of it because we're ready to company. Like, seriously.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, sorry. The Pyrex literally exploded when he put it from the oven onto. You've had Pyrex explode? Really, Ben? See, somebody else says they have too. Holy crap. Take the camera. We want to see. Okay.
Never had a Pyrex.
All right. They all want to see. Literally exploded.
It's crazy.
Damn it, man. Look at that meat.
I want to die.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, Dad is going to kill us if we throw it out, but we can't save that.
No, there's no saving that.
Because who
You're gonna
knows?
get a
There
shard
could
of
be
glass.
little, I
There's
know,
shards of glass all over that. Look at this.
I know, but you know Dad's
Some-
going to be like, we
Someone-
can figure it out.
You know what? Leave it there. Let Pops come home and see that this. Like,
Yeah,
it'd be
right?
one thing if they didn't land on top of it, but there's shards on top of
Yeah,
it.
there
Someone
really is.
Google how easy it is to digest glass. It's not easy.
Break, Albert.
What?
I
You know how much money that was?
I know. I was with you.
I just worked like 20 hours for that.
I don't even know, like,
I'm gonna go kill myself now.
Damn it, man. That just totally sucks. I'm so mad. Okay. It is ribs that we have been marinating in ciavettas for 2 days.
Even if you like
And it
break
smells
Pyrex,
so
it's
good.
supposed to break in such a way that it doesn't shatter.
Why do I feel like one of them will still try to eat it? Yeah, I'm not guaranteeing you that Frank won't. Hopefully he doesn't. But it does smell really good. Yeah, it's so good. All right. Anyways, but not with glass in it, obviously. That's really not good. Okay. Make sure you take a picture of it, and I mean it. Because we are like writing the company. Wash with water. Can't do that because their little shards could be in there. Can't. I know it's. I wish because it smells amazing. It's really annoying, but yeah. Okay. I know someone said sucks, but good things. No one got hurt. That's true. See. That looks like an art room. Well, it is. It's a little bit of every kind of room. That's my husband's art desk. And then, there's my apothecary back there and my altar over here. And it's kind of everything. And my bed is over there. All right. Yeah, we will be writing. Sorry, guys. Okay, where was I? You may even find that you can pass through elemental phases as you grow up through life's path. Give it a rinse under the tap. Thomas, that's terrible. There's little shards. You don't know what's in there. You want to tear up your intestines? Can't do that. Yes. What is that crunch? Oh, that's just a special seasoning. Yeah, exactly. No big deal. Try not to swallow now. Is jealous of Peter's art desk. Oh, I literally now. All right, squirrel. You guys are squirreling and you're making me squirrel. But I will tell you that I got that for Peter for Christmas 2 years ago, and I waited till it was on sale. And then you take at Michael's, and you take. You know how Michael's always has a 50% off thing. So you only go in there thinking you're going to buy that one thing. Go in when it's on sale and do 50% off. I think I paid less than $50 for it. Spray it with Windex and no one eats it and the smell goes away, right? Oh, that's probably a good idea, Leon, because it smells amazing. Oh yeah, it's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So this may help you better understand why some people are blown from place to place with the wind until they mature and then become more rooted and stable in their ways. Can you see how the elements in your everyday interactions with people could change things or could affect things. Some magical systems look at the elements in a hierarchy where we are their master and they are our magical servants. So you will see that sometimes where people will demand when you go to a circle. I've been to certain circles that when you go to ritual and they are calling in the circle, there's different ways to call in the circle. And we'll learn that for our ritual and spellcrafting class next week. But you will see that sometimes people demand the elements when they are calling them in. They see them as something to be the master over. They see them as something to demand their presence. Element of earth. I order you to join us and this and that. I'm not saying that's wrong. I just see it a little bit differently. So to me, elements are kind of aspects of deity. My own personal view of the divine is the sum total of everything, all the pieces and parts, past, present, and future. So to me, that makes earth, air, fire, and water aspects of the goddess and God. So it's aspects of the divine for me. So when I call in elements, I am asking for them to join that part of that aspect of their energy with our workings or with our ritual that day. Yes. Neither is right or wrong. You will find your own how you feel about that. It's just a different way of thinking. Where am I? Next time you're in ritual with someone else, notice whether people greet the elements with reverence or command them in booming voices. And you'll kind of get a feel for, where they're at with that. Yes, this is the class. Hi, Hedgie. Never feel right about demanding an element, right? Absolutely. And me too, but it's okay to think of them that way. Some people do think of them that way, and that's okay too. We use symbols for earth in a variety of magical tools. In the tarot, the suit of pentacles or coins represents the earth. Pentacles and coins are round circular objects that might symbolize the earth merely in shape. But if we look further, we can see a pentacle is an interesting choice since the 5-pointed star is often described for all 5 elements. This is a wonderful description of the diverse earth since our world's land, sea, air, and flame contain all of these forces. Coins is a symbol of the earth, might date back to agricultural times where wealth and abundance came with the harvest as a financial support for the village, which is, that's how far back tarot goes. So at some point, some of the coins could have come back from that harvest, meaning that prosperous work. You're not eating that, right?
No, I had a green bean.
Oh, all right. I'm like,
I say we do like since it's Friday the 13th, a nice like Fey blood harvest ritual for revenge.
no, we
Yes.
need to leave an offering or something, not a flavor.
Offering, they ruined my food.
I
I'm
know,
going to eat a leprechaun.
No, don't piss him off more, please. Not me. I'm not doing that. No. We could like do some sage and
God.
God
God
punished
ruined it.
him for something.
Or the fairies, or what? Pick a deity. I don't care.
no. We are not
Pyrex,
doing revenge.
The
glass that
glass.
goes in an oven.
He's talking about taking revenge out on the Fae for breaking our Pyrex and ruining our
Yeah,
dinner.
that's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
No, bad idea. No revenge. No.
I thought you didn't like them. They weren't good.
Yes, he will. Okay. In ritual, we often associate directions with the element. For many, Earth is north. So let's talk about that. That's the beginning of a horror film right there, right, Thomas? Yes. Did you hear that? Do not piss them off. Yeah, no, bad idea. I'm sorry, Red Rim. Yes, he does, Dylan. And I know he's kidding, but he also is very about his meat. He's my child that will try any kind of meat just because, like buffalo and ostrich and that kind of thing. Yeah, I know. Okay. For many, now, all right, focus, pay attention. Just ask Pat. Exactly. For many, Earth is associated with the North. Why? Do any of you know why? What started that, or what they think started that? So the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. I should give you a chance to answer, Han, before I answer it. I'm sorry. It's Lent anyway. Oh yes, Ben. That means a whole lot to him. Kid has never, even though he was baptized Catholic, but he has no idea. Alligator, see, I bet you. Have you tried alligator, Frank?
What?
Did Frank go back upstairs?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn codified some of these correspondences in the 19th century. Most notable, here are the cardinal directions. The Golden Dawn originated in England, and the directional elemental correspondences reflect a European perspective. Focus, Mama. I know exactly, right? So, yes, the North is considered Earth element for most people, although not for all people. So if you think about sitting in the middle of Europe and you look to the north, what is up to the north? Lots of land, right? So if you think about sitting in the middle of Europe, to the south are the warmer climates, and thus is associated with fire. The Atlantic Ocean lies to the west, so that is associated with water. The north is cold and formidable, a land of the earth, but sometimes not a lot else. So it makes sense if you're thinking of, I was thinking of it because of compasses pointing true north. That's true. So, however, not everyone thinks of that. You may think of the elements as different cardinal directions, and that's okay. Occultists practicing in America or elsewhere sometimes do not find these correspondences to work. You can figure out your own beliefs based on whatever you feel is right for you. So let's give an example, even though this is not what's right for me. Let's say you live on the east coast of North America, which I do, New York. I live in New York. You might then decide that west is associated with the earth element to you. Why? Because if I look to the west, being in New York, if I'm looking to the west, I see a huge expanse of land all the way across to California's coast. So that's, I might see earth as west. When you look to the west, you see 3,000 miles of continental land. You might then decide that west is associated with the earth. When you look to the east, you see the Atlantic Ocean. So you may decide east is water for you. South would be fire if you were doing that based on New York, because the warmer climates would be to the south, right? Leaving air to the north, which kind of would make sense from New York, because I see, like, Canada and higher up Alaska and that kind of thing, I can see where it would seem cold and windy, and that might be associated with air. The point is, you don't have to use any direction just because you're taught that way. There may be times when Earth feels like facing the place you consider home, or facing the Rocky Mountains, or maybe facing that big old oak tree you've always loved. What works best for you? What? If your tradition has elemental correspondences. I like when Mama says, let's do examples. What works best for you? You may also decide, as I have, that the traditional elements and their cardinal directions that you are taught, or that many of the correspondences that you see, if you look them up online, if you look on my Pinterest pages, which I will be in the notes, the pages that correspond to the boards that I have that correspond to all of this learning. Very often, north is equated with earth, and that's how I learned. So because I learned that way, that's how I associate it. And I don't know if it's because I learned that way originally. It's been so long now that I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I could change them at this point. So the traditional correspondences for me just feel right. And I've found that after this long, I can usually tell how I feel, which direction is which. Sometimes I'm off. I'm not going to say I've never gotten turned around and thought this must be north and then it wasn't. But based on how I feel, how I interact with each element, I can usually tell which way is north, which way is east. I can usually tell that. And so I keep the traditional elements. Plus, I will say it's less confusing, because if you're just starting out and you're looking up elements, the correspondences will very much correspond to one or two. The only difference is sometimes fire and air are reversed. Right? Is that it? Fire and air? Kind of like the tarot. Okay. All things are alive. Talk to your house, your yard, your car, your dinner. Listen, just in case they talk back. Try it with not just your own sentimental items, but with strangers that you encounter along your path, new places, new things. If you can find a connection to all things in some way, nothing is beyond your reach. You already have a link to every goal, every dream, every person, every place, everything you can imagine. Use it. We often say that modern day culture has forgotten its connection to Earth. If that's true, then such a culture would certainly feel disconnected from the cosmos. But over time, things are changing. Our culture is shifting back to help reconnect with nature. More and more each year, people are drawn to things that help them reconnect to the earth, such as paganism and other forms of earth spirituality. Other reconnections might be as subtle as popular trends towards natural foods. Think about it. What makes you feel more connected to the earth than a fresh, crispy carrot from your garden? Or a polysorbate, hydrogenated, yellow No. 3 cheese flavored doodle from a plastic bag? Most of us will say the carrot from your garden, or the snap pea that you snap right off from your garden, right? Since we all spring from the earth, it's no accident that the old ways are making a comeback. When Earth's ecosystem is under attack, living things often change to seek balance, to adapt. Okay. Earth in everyday life. Do I want to keep going? There's lots and lots of notes here, guys. Because, oh my God, it's already an hour. I don't want to, and we're still on Earth. I don't want to go through all of this. There's lots and lots of notes, so make sure you're reading your notes this week, okay? I think I'm okay with that. just look around and make sure you realize how each of the elements is connecting in everyday life around you. Go through all of it. Stop it. I will say, just in everyday life, when you look around at everything you eat, everything you touch, everything you, you're walking on wooden floors. You sit on a couch that has wood underneath it. There's elements all around us. We just have to look at and appreciate those elements that we are inhabiting every day. We don't have to go out into the woods to appreciate that, although we all love that. We can appreciate the part of the elements that's all around us. Okay, so in conclusion, the earth. Like most broad spiritual concepts can have many meanings. So do air, fire, water, just about anything else you might see as magical and sacred. Try to take a step back from traditional teachings and cultural norms. You may find that it becomes a bit clearer when you view it from a distance. Look at things from a variety of angles. Look for how these magical forces manifest in very simple ways in your own surroundings. Often we draw the boundary between magical and mundane. Nature does not draw that boundary. We draw that boundary. Everyday, normal things can make you see the magical piece of element that is all around you every day in everything that we do. Okay, so we're going to quickly go through some of the correspondences. These, there's several different correspondences in your notes that you will get after class here. Earth correspondences. Earth is generally considered a feminine aspect. It is considered the north direction in most of the traditional senses. It is associated with the altar tools of the pentacle, salt, stone, and the black mirror, the scrying mirror, is all altar tools that can be associated with earth or anything else that you feel. Don't forget, this is just a list of what most people are corresponding them with. Colors, greens and browns, right? The astrological sign, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are all three earth signs. The tarot, pentacles, metals, lead and silver. There's lots of attributes. Let's talk goddesses. Caradwen, Demeter, Gaia, Rhiannon, Persephone. Gods would be Pan, Cernunnos, Herne, Thoth, Adonis, Dionysus. Most of the horned gods would be associated with earth. Herbs, lots of herbs, almost all herbs anyways, but cedar, cypress, comfrey, honeysuckle, patchouli. Patchouli is the big one for me. Anytime I want to feel grounded, patchouli is a big one for me. Stones like emerald, peridot, onyx, jasper, tourmaline, tiger's eye, that's all associated with earth. Right. What are the strengths of earth? So there is strengths and weaknesses that are associated with earth. Earth strengths: accurate with details, predictable, reserved, organized, scheduled, conscientious, cautious, prepared, analytical, focused, factual, realistic, and modest. So again, keep in mind, this is if it works for you. This is just giving you an idea. Can you put different aspects of someone's personality into, you know what, that feels like this kind of element? Can you see why all of that would be strengths of an earth person or an earth element? Challenges For an earth person or an earth element, what would be the challenges? Picky. They're often kind of picky. Boring. People sometimes say they're boring. They're distant. They're not easily, their emotions are not on their sleeve. Inflexible. Perfectionist. Suspicious. Lacking confidence. Obsessive. Unresponsive. Emotionalist. Pessimistic. Self-critical. If you are an earth person and you're saying, that's not on me, this is not a slight against anyone in particular. This is just some traits that would be tough for some of those people. Okay. There is for each element, I included a call to the goddess of that element. I'll read, I guess I have time to read them. This is, I am the goddess of earth. It says, I am the keeper of the sacred earth. Oh, hold on. I forget the top part. I am the goddess of earth, who of old was called Demeter, Gaia, Isis, Nisan, Ceres, and by many other names. I am the keeper of the sacred earth, goddess of growth and stability. I am the womb that nourishes all living things. I am the giver of all good things. Within my womb, all things are created. I am the stable and the strong. I am that which is unchanging and secure. Place your roots within me, and you will always return home. I am the mother of all living things, and my love is the source of life. Pretty good, right? Okay. Any questions about Earth? I know I shouldn't do that in the middle of it, but it's such a long class. I don't want you guys to get lost. Air is next. I'm not going to give you very much time to ask questions, so hopefully you don't have too many. All right, air. We breathe it in every day. It surrounds us. Oh, by the way, Earth. What is the symbol for Earth? What does it look like? It is this one right here. It's the upside down triangle with the line across the top of it. That's the symbol for Earth. So just so you know, if you see that, that's the symbol for Earth. I know some of you saw the tattoo that my son drew for me that we're going to be doing down my leg. He's doing all the element symbols down my... Okay, air. We breathe it in every day. It surrounds us. It fills us, yet often we don't even notice it. Air, of all the elements, is perhaps the most elusive of all the elements. It can be the most difficult to describe, but can also be one of the most vibrant. Air brings us the light sensation of a cool breeze, the sudden rage of a storm, and the sweet smell of every scent we experience. So scent is a big indicator of air. So when you think of, that's why incense is something that we talk about when you're trying to symbolize air on your altar. Incense symbolizes air, not only because of the smoke, but because of the scent, because air will bring us that scent. Love that tattoo. Me too. Me too. Me too. Thank you. I know. I can't wait to get it. So think of what air actually is. What is air? It's a layer of gases surrounding the Earth. When we visualize the planet Earth, we usually focus on the solid object, right? The earthly globe. But in reality, our world rests in the center of a gaseous atmosphere 560 miles high. Rather than a mere solid alone, planet Earth is a solid object surrounded by a glow of gas. Surrounded by a glow of gas. Does that remind you guys of anything yet? A solid surrounded by an aura. Likewise, many of Earth's creations are solid within their own special glow. Think of the way a fresh baked apple pie fills your kitchen with its scent. That aromatic scent, again, is the air surrounding that pie. The actual pie itself is only a few inches wide, but Its airy glow expands to fill an entire room. Perhaps it's the nature of solid things to be surrounded by a less tangible outer cloak. I totally lost an atmosphere of sorts. Knowing this helps us recognize things at their first blush before they appear with full force. Just like we can smell the pie before actually touching it, we can sense many things around us by being aware of more than just the physical aspect of them. People, too, have their own airs about them. Our bodies have a natural scent that surrounds us like an aura. It changes uniquely from person to person, from day to day, even from mood to mood. As we expend more physical energy, our scent reflects that and becomes even stronger. Don't underestimate the power of scent. Air is one of the ways you can bond with a special place. You may eat its fruit, drink its waters, but you can also take time to smell its roses and breathe in a part of that place. You've heard the expression, you are what you eat. Well, you're also what you drink, see, hear, feel, and breathe. So the aura is a symbol of air. Our personal aura is a symbol of air. So our bodies, our physical, tangible skin, bones, that is a symbol of earth. And the aura that's around us, that is a symbol of air. What else? Air is also a symbol of communication. Magically, the element of air is associated with communication. How fitting. Look how things in nature communicate with each other, how animals sense one another, literally sense one another, or how bees share pollen. We often augment ourselves with perfumes and oils, enhancing our personal scent to create the desired atmosphere, right? Is this also a form of communication? Absolutely, it's a form of communication. We are communicating our want to be liked. We are communicating our want to feel sexy. We are communicating our want to feel grounded. For me, my scent very often has nothing to do with, the lovey-dovey. I want someone to notice me. It's for me, I want to be able to not be all up in the air, all up in the clouds with my squirreliness. I want a scent that will ground me some. So it's patchouli. It's something that can bring me back to the earth. Remember, communicative air. The next time you hear someone whistle, an act performed how? Air wraps around the entire surface of the planet. It links all things together, tucked under the same sky like a big comfy blanket, touching each and every one of us. This connection sounds like a very powerful medium for communication. And air, space is, to me, and that's maybe why I can picture it so well, that word, that link, that web of connection that we all have with one another, that's how I can feel it. I believe that all of our auras, all of our airs are connected. And so I reach out and click whichever air I'm trying to get to and feel that vibrational energy. So when I'm connecting to someone else, I am connecting directly to your air or to your guardian's air. On a more practical level, mass media like TV and radio travel through the air to millions of people each day. Perhaps it's no accident that we describe the act of broadcasting as putting something on the air, right? We can find air spirits all around us, just like we'd find other elemental spirits in rippling lakes, the woodsy earth, or dancing candle flames. Know the air spirits are nearby. Try to feel them as individuals. Pick out and just listen to it, whether a howling night wind or the gentle whirring fan from your PC, household appliance, or the tingle of wind chimes. The air in your yard, your hometown, and all across the world is unique, a unique mix of the scents, gases, and breath of all its inhabitants. all the tiny airs around us, from the aroma of our incense to each breath we let out, all become part of the air, like the way each drop joins to make up the entire sea. So air is a mix, a mosaic of many different things swirling together. So we contribute to the air of the community that we live in. My community smells differently because I'm here, because of what I contribute to my community, good, bad, or indifferent. My community smells like my community, just like your house. People have a sense of their house. You know that it used to be my grandfather. I don't have anything anymore. One of the things that I was most sad about after my grandparents died is that I had things like his sweatshirt and his coat and stuff. And for a long, long time, if I picked up his coat and smelled this coat, I could smell him in their house. And one of the saddest things to me was after so long that air was no longer there. It had changed into my air. So I could not smell that anymore. But that is something magical. There's something we can use there. Yep. See, that is something magical. Make sure that you keep that in mind when you're looking at the different elements. That is totally magical. Good, good, good. Yes. Want to try some airy magic fun? Get a supply of colored balloons. Pick a balloon colored to fit your wish. Take in a big breath of the magic that surrounds you and breathe it into the balloon. Whoosh. When your balloon is full, take a magic marker. Yes, we do call them magic, don't we? And write your wish upon the balloon. Or maybe draw and create a magical balloon friend with a specific job to do. Have fun with your new magical tool. Rub it on your hair or your woolly sweater. Stick it to the wall. Tap it with your finger back and forth ad nauseum. Drag it around on a string. Be creative. Then, with a sudden burst, break the balloon and release the energy stored up inside. With balloons, the magic usually happens by being both creative and destructive. Pop. And then you can use air magic like that. All out of balloons, try the simple act of breathing as a magical device. Inhale. Take in your surroundings. Imagine that you're taking in the energy and the surroundings of everything around you. Take in as much as you can handle. And then as the seconds fly by, your body is absorbing millions of tiny oxygen atoms with the blood, which the blood in your lungs will send to every cell in your body. Feel it change you. Feel its magic become yours for just a moment in time. Then exhale. Release your magical breath out into the air currents around you. Send it forth with a sigh and let the winds carry your wish wherever it needs to go. This can be a quiet meditative moment or a loud joyous one filled with gasps of laughter and song. Remember, air magic next time you blow out your birthday candles and make a wish. Right? Lots of different ways to interact with magic. To understand the sheer power air has compared to the other elements, remember that we can survive weeks without solid food, days without water, but only a few minutes without air. Paramedics do air magic whenever they give mouth to mouth. They may breathe mere gases into a dying person's lungs, but they charge that air with their healing intent and will. Their intent says, come on, breathe, live. Air magic is used for the simplest or the most vital of intents. Remember this, sharing breath doesn't have to be the life or death act that paramedics experience. Try passing a single breath back and forth as a bonding experience with a loved one or a magical partner. Work your way up to it, perhaps from a distance at first, and then move closer until your lips meet. Exhale into your loved one's lips as they inhale deeply, and then reverse. Back and forth breathing can be one of the many intimate rhythms of shared life with those you love. And then you can share your magic with each other that way. Keep that in mind. There's different ways to do that. Yes. Okay. So, air correspondences. It's normally generally considered a masculine element. It is generally associated with the direction of the east. The altar tools that are associated with air are the wand, the censer, meaning what you burn and incense, and also the feather. That doesn't say that on there, but the feather. Colors, yellow, light blue, or gray. Lots of yellows in there for me. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, which always seemed really goofy to me that Aquarius was air and not water, but it is. This is incorrect. Not incorrect, but it is it says tarot wands, which I don't associate tarot wands with air, but swords. But you know, it's okay. Can't always be right. And again, if it works for you, right? Goddesses: Morgan, Athena, Nut, Aradia. Gods would be Hermes, Thoth, Mercury. Herbs: acacia, anise, benzoin, clover, dill, frankincense, myrrh, lavender, vervain, yarrow. Stones: aventurine, topaz, mica, fluorite. Clear crystals like quartz, amethyst, and yellow stones. All right, and then strengths. So Wynn's strengths are optimistic, charming, amusing, spontaneous, passionate, talkative. So when I think of me, this is all true. Lively, persuasive, trusting, friendly, enthusiastic, flexible. All true, of course. And of course, none of the challenges are going to be about me. Ha ha ha. Challenges: unrealistic. Yeah, that's true. Manipulative. Yeah, I can probably see that. Silly. Yep. Impulsive. Yeah. Emotional. Oh, hell yes. Self-promoting. I suppose, or else I wouldn't be on here. Although that's a hard one for me. I'm not one that is really, it's hard for me to do that. But I mean, yes, because I'm here, right? Hyper. Yep, guess so. Fast talking. I have no idea what you mean. Gullible. Yep, can see that. Shallow. All right, now that one I take offense to. I don't think I'm shallow. You guys probably wouldn't tell me if I was shallow, would you? Loud, gushy. Me? Loud? No. And unfocused. No idea if that one applies to me or not. Yes, it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's true. So now the goddess of air. I am the goddess of air, who of old was called Hathor, An, Tania, Marichi, and many other names. I am the keeper of the sacred breath, goddess of communication and travel. I am the gentle breeze that kisses your face as you walk. I am the powerful tempest that blows down walls and clears away barriers. I am the whisper in the wind that calls to you, bringing you wisdom from far places. Feel my touch and delight in my voice. Come unto me when you seek understanding, and reach for me when what is disappoints. I am the voice of all living things, and my touch moves us all. So again, when you're thinking about if you're an air person or an earth person or a fire person, there's several different correspondences in here. So when you look at this, you're going to say, okay, am I a person? It says that sense of smell is the most important sense to an air person. Is sense of smell something that you really associate things with? When you are thinking about doing mediumship work, connecting to spirit, do you often smell things that could indicate that a spirit was nearby. That doesn't mean necessarily that that's all you are. Do you associate with a lot of the stones that are associated with that? Do you feel your greatest magic when you're standing in a windstorm? That kind of thing. You're going to think about the correspondences, and does your magical workings feel like that? Okay, let's move on. Fire. Fire, fire, fire. Fire is around us every day. We see it, touch it. We are sometimes burned by it. It is the warmth of a comfortable place to sit and the roaring blaze that devastates an entire village. It burns within every beat of our heart. Fire is change. Fire is around us everywhere. The energy of fire is often quite obvious, but sometimes can be tricky to spot. Do you have a special piece of jewelry? Most times we look at an object and see its earthly solid form, what it looks like today. But the metals in your jewelry took their present shape by being forged at temperatures higher than we might imagine. And as long as they retain that shape, they retain the impact of the fire. Fire is energy. Energy has the power to change things. In fact, the symbol for fire is, the symbol for air, by the way, is, hold on, trying to find the biggest one. The symbol for air is just like earth, but upside down. So it is the right side up triangle and the line across the top. So the symbol for fire is the right side up triangle. Think of it with the fire one and the water one. Fire and water to me are the easiest because I see a flame in there, right? You see the triangle, you can see a flame. The water one, I see a goblet that you can fill up. So the earth, you can see, like I picture grass going over here, and the air, I always picture a cloud making that line. Where am I? In fact, the symbol for fire, triangle pointed upwards, is a Greek symbol called delta, which means change. Think how the energy of events in your own life have forged you, changed your life, and shaped you into what you are today. Much of the work and play we do is aided by fire. Reading uses fire since it requires light, usually either sunlight or electrical light, both very fiery indeed. Tried to stay, but I'm exhausted. It's okay, Ayana. You go ahead and sleep, sweetheart. Next time you read something, give a special thank you to the light energy which carried its joy off the page to the gleam in your eye. So again, another mundane way to celebrate the element of fire is to say, oh, thank you to the electricity, to the light that we have, or thank you to the sun, which is the ultimate fire energy, right? What else depends on light? Photosynthesis, the act of turning sunlight into food. Plants do this every day. All of our food, our incense, our herbal medicines, our wooden homes, all contain the sunlight stored away over the years by plants. So that fire energy is stored and is in our houses, in our food, in everything. Recognize the sun's stored flame the next time you hold an object made of wood. When wood burns, it actually releases this solar energy into a fiery glow. So when you light the fire, you're not creating new energy. You are releasing that fire energy that is within that wood that it absorbed through the sun, right? That cycle, that wheel of the year, all things that go into cycles. And how many things have we talked about go into cycles? Damn it. I need my glasses. Feel the warmth of the sun the next time you enjoy a campfire, fireplace, or a simple votive candle. There's something very primal within fire. From cave times to today, people huddling around an open flame regard it as something special. Without question, people notice how Earth's agricultural breadbasket nourishes us. But what nourishes the earth with enough energy to create such delights? The sun. Mother Earth contains the solid materials, the building blocks ready to construct this bounty, but sunlight provides the energy to ignite life, turning the fields green and growing. Sunlight also charges people with a special glow. Try soaking up the sun on a hot summer day. Store it within you. Whether you feel it or not, the sun's energy changes you, like the way a glow-in-the-dark watch shines after you hold it up to the light. Feel the sun's flame within you. Fire is magic. We often recognize the magic of water and herbs when brewing our magical teas, but the heat in our hot, steamy cup also contains fire. Next time you seek healing energies from a cup of hot tea, direct the fire energy within its heat to work for you as well. Again, another mundane way to make that fire energy work for you is to direct the heat of a hot, steamy cup of soup or hot, steamy cup of tea to help to heal you. Heal me with fire energy in this way. Ask it to speed your recovery. Light this recovery on fire. You might find working with all the elements within your cup works better than any single one alone. Your home is well charged with fire. I often look to my heater's pilot light as perpetual candle flame that always stays lit. Like Brigitte lighting that flame. A home is rarely without flame. Its lights, its electrical devices all breathe fire's life throughout your house, transforming it from a cold, dark place into a warm, happy home. Fire burns with a variety of colors. Copper burns green, silicone like sand or glass burns yellow. If you like working with fire, try creating a flame that matches the color of your desires. But be ecologically aware that whatever you burn ends up in the air and ground where the ashes remain. So, some things are not good for our environment, right? Try to keep it simple. People work with fire many ways. Ever notice someone trying to start a difficult car? They make facial expressions, utter words of encouragement. They even do some rather interesting rocking motions. Come on, let's go. You've done it. All right, maybe the young people have it, because I don't know if cars really, you can do that anymore. But it used to be, you'd be trying to start the car and you start rocking with the car. Come on, you can do it. Go, come on. Anything to crank electricity from the car's battery to the starter into the engine. We're trying to help it along. Come on. Fire can be used for a variety of divination techniques also. We've all heard of scrying into tea leaves, but what about scrying into the ashes left behind by a small fire? Wait, start, you stupid fucking piece of shit, are words of encouragement? Absolutely, Pat. As long as you mean them to light something on fire or you're going to light it on fire. I've said that before. I'll light you on fire myself, you fucking thing, light. Yep. Instead of pouring water on your fragrant leaves, light them aflame. Try burning special wood or herbs, parchment, photos, old pay stubs, the daily news. What might work best to answer your particular question? Hi, Jack. Squirrel. Used to do that rocking motion. Yep, to get up the hill. Oh, yes, absolutely. Come on, you can do it. Yep. Yep, for sure. Besides looking at the ashes, did you notice anything unusual about the flame? Did it peak in any particular direction before going out? What does that direction mean to you? For a new experience, take a blank piece of paper, wave it over a candle flame close enough to leave black soot marks, but not close enough to ignite it. Be careful. Don't set yourself on fire, obviously. Interpret the shapes and designs that the flame made in the paper the same way you would a cloud in the sky. Do you see a pair of lips? Perhaps a bunny rabbit? What do these shapes and symbols mean to you? So there's lots of different ways to scry and use fire in order for divination. In order to use divination. Yeah, you know what I mean. Each flame is a unique life form or a unique spirit. Unlike any other, it has life and breath. It is born, consumes, grows, and then flickers out. right? What does that sound like? The cycle of life, the cycle of the wheel of the year, the turning of the wheel. Leaving behind an empty shell, ashes to ashes. Are we any different? Try sensing the spirit in the flames you encounter. What makes this candle just a little bit different than any other? Try communicating with the engine spark that moves you from one place to another. Acknowledge the energy that warms your bath, rings your phone, gives you a tan, keeps your heart going one beat to the next. Try whispering softly to the bathroom nightlight. Some of these flames might just answer you back. Yeah, don't light yourself on fire, please. So the fire correspondences. The direction that I see is south. It is generally considered a masculine element. The altar tools for fire are the athame and candles. It's funny. You know what? I think somebody said before they consider their wand flame. I do too. The athame to me is east, is air. Again, some of these correspondences are different than the way I feel. Colors, red, orange, crimson, gold. The astrological signs for fire are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. That's how you see it also. Athame feels colder, yes. The goddesses, Brigitte, Pele, Vesta, Freya, Morrigan. The gods, Ra, Hephaestus, Horus, Prometheus, and Vulcan. The herbs, allspice, basil, chili peppers, cinnamon. You can see why. Heliotrope, garlic, juniper. Stones would be red jasper, bloodstone, garnet, ruby, carnelian, rhodochrosite, right? Lots of stuff in the notes. All right, fire strengths. How we doing? An hour and a half. Not too bad. Fire strengths. Bold, assertive, risk-taking, daring, results-oriented, a visionary, direct, confident, decisive, initiating, competitive, and confronting. The challenges, fire challenges, impulsive, controlling, reckless, defiant, overcommits, self-absorbed, poor listener, egotistical, opinionated, pushy, win at all costs, unapproachable. And again, not all of it is going to mean you. The goddess. I am the goddess of fire, who of old was called Brigitte, Hestia, Vesta, Pele, Chiantico, and by many other names. I am the keeper of the sacred flame, goddess of destruction and passion. I am the blaze that consumes the old and the unneeded. I am the spark of inspiration that builds art, poetry, and imagination. I am the humble hearth that fills the home with love and laughter. Look for me, but seek me not, for I am the arbiter of sacrifice and the ruler of all that is no longer useful. I am the source of all living things, and my passion transforms the universe. All right, that one's not for me. Okay, water. Ready? We're up to water, and then we're going to go through a couple symbols. How we doing? Y'all with me still? A bird took Shauna's phone. What? Oh, no. We have all four elements. All right. When you think of water, what comes to mind? A tranquil lake, gentle rain, or a raging sea? Whether magical element or just a simple cup of tea, water can be a very special part of your life. Parakeet is staring at the phone. She's finally being quiet. Yay. Water spirits. Every body of water is an entity. Each lake, each puddle or pool has a unique life force all its own. It can be as vast as the sea or as small as a 2-sip potion bottle. Any body of water has a personality just a little different than any other. Can you feel the personality of your bath? Can you feel a certain comfort within a place where you swim regularly? Try to sense what makes each body of water different than another. A home is a very special place. It holds all the elements and surely combines them into spirit. Water is an integral part of your home, like any ecosystem. The bathroom, the kitchen, the plumbing surely are temples for your own home's personal aspect of water. Perhaps it is no accident that one of the first things someone offers a guest is something to drink. This concept is not limited to someone's home. If you're going on a sales call or a job interview, grab a quick drink when you get there. That will give you a sense of what the water element of where you're at feels like. Water is used in a variety of healing rites. Lots and lots of healing rites have to do with water. Most magical people are quite aware of healing energies in teas, brews, and baths. Next time you use one of these devices, try specifically addressing the water aspect within your magic. People often focus on the herbs used in their potions. Again, remember we talked about that tea and thanking the fire element, or the soup, thanking the fire element that warmed it and asking it to speed your recovery. Same way you can use water. Don't forget that the water spirits within your hot cup of tea that washes these herbs into your steamy circle. Magic is often the chemistry of mixing things, thus mixing the energies that they possess. Together, water and herbs make something very special, more so than either could do alone. Employ the water you drink to help swallow an aspirin. See the liquid in your cough syrup. Most over-the-counter drugs come in both liquid and tablet form. Perhaps this choice can help fit your magical need. When might a liquid work better than a solid, or vice versa, depending on what the intention is for the healing or what it is you're trying to do. Water divination. Some people scry as a means to foretell the future or answer questions. Scrying is the act of gazing meditatively into a shiny, nebulous surface, like a crystal ball or a bowl of water. Fill your cauldron with water and see what shimmers on its surface, whether by moonlight, candlelight, or just the bathroom nightlight. Oh, you don't own a $200 cast iron genuine witchy cauldron to fill? Try any household vessel, perhaps one that fits your specific need. For example, if you seek financial guidance, try using the jar you store your loose change in. Fill that with water, scry in it, see what you see. A new beginning, how about your morning coffee cup? Love, perhaps a vase you might use for a dozen red roses. For divination, you might want to try saving water to reuse over and over again each time you scry. Perhaps this water, just like you, will become more adept at scrying with practice. We know that water holds memory. Don't forget that. We have learned that water holds memory. You might experiment with the specific type of water you want to use. When might water from the ocean work best? The rain, the morning dew. Try collecting waters from the special places in your life, the stream where you picnic, the lake where you camp. Use your creativity. Is there enough room? Hopefully that was a quick one. Ready? You're back. Another form of divination would be to spill it onto a flat surface. Which way did it run? Towards a specific direction? What does this direction mean to you? Try dropping something magical into a pool of water and count the ripples it makes. 4, 5. Do you find meaning in this number? Water is a very flexible thing. You can combine 2 elements for divination. Drop melting candle wax into your scrying water and interpret the shapes and symbols. Or alternatively, drop dirt or sand from your yard. Interpret those symbols. Lots of different ways of divination you can use. Combine some elements. You can use one element only. Perhaps the water we're closest to, but we notice the least, is the water within our own bodies. Each of us carry around gallons that we borrow from our surroundings via the moisture within food and drink. We store it for hours, days, maybe even weeks. We carry it around like a little magical charm. Remember this the next time you share a drink during a special moment. A bit of that moment stays with you within the water you drink. Magical people instinctively feel the magic within their own waters. Ever notice how some people put a little something extra into licking and sealing a special envelope? It becomes a magical act. Matter can be charged with your own personal energy, the way a chair becomes warm when you sit in it. Water is especially receptive to storing energy. It's a great energy storage facility. What energies does water hold within your body? Note that just about every emotion is expressed with water. Our water enables release, catharsis, getting it out of your system, whether tears of joy, a nervous sweat, or acts of love and pleasure. When we get too sad, too happy, too excited, water is what we often cast forth. When you drink in water, take in what you need from the world. Ask for new things, new benefits, new wisdom, new experiences. Drink them all in like making a toast. And when you expel water, casting it out of your body, think of what you'd like to cast out into that life's magical currents. Taking them in and sending out. What could be more magical than that? Can we learn from the cycle of the Earth's water supply? Water vapor rises from the ocean, crystallizes to form a raindrop, falls back to the earth, and runs its course through life's rivers and streams, returning to the ocean, its source, to vaporize once again, perpetuating water's cycle. Again, the cycle, the cycle, the cycle. How many times have I said that tonight? And how many times have I said that during the course of this entire course, this entire self-dedication thing? A lot. And why is that? Because the cycles, remember, like was the first or second class, we talked about the cycles and how they correlate to every single thing that goes on in our life. And everything is a cycle. Every single thing. Everything that we do, everything that happens, everything is a cycle. And so now we're beginning to see where everything is a cycle. Every time Mama says cycle, take a shot. Oh, you'll be drunk long before we're done. Are we any different? Even today, pagans sing about a drop of rain flowing to the ocean, returning to its source, the source of all life. This song even tells where we are from and reminds us that we shall return. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. Okay, we'll be going over some of those chants and stuff. If you guys don't know them yet, it's okay. I'm going to go over some of the more popular ones because it's good to know some of those chants. Sometimes you're in ritual or sometimes you just suddenly recognize that you're in a magical situation. How many of you have walked outside and suddenly went, oh, look, I'm in a situation that is just a magical thing, or I'm just recognizing that this is a magical thing. I can't tell you how many times the chant has just popped into my head because it goes with this. It goes with this. This is what calls for this, right? There's lots of little chants that can help you if you are into music for your ritual, which I am, that can help you just enhance that moment. Just started chanting with you, right? It's just, I do too. I love that chant. That's such a good one because and most of them are very simple. It just gives you that oomph of that energy, right? Look at the branching shape each tiny stream has as it feeds a larger brook, which then feeds a mighty river. Now look at the veins in your arm. You can kind of see mine because I'm so darn white. Perhaps it's the nature of small things to flow together, forming something larger. Like us, water also has many lives. The same H2O molecule that sits upon your sweaty brow today may have once been a teardrop in a lover's eye or a raindrop in a raging storm. It may even have been part of an icy comet that hurled to Earth eons ago after whirling through the galaxy. So don't forget that. Every molecule has been someplace else. We are pulling in that energy from other things. And how many amazing things do we have stored within us right now? Stuff we can't even imagine. Perhaps the most common water magic is washing away something unwanted. So one of those mundane kind of things, hi butterfly magic, that we talk about with water is standing in the shower in the morning and saying, oh, I release what's no longer needed and let it wash right down that drain. As it goes through, as it washes everything within me, I'm going to release everything. Right? Melt's never experienced fatherhood. Aw, Pat and Red Rum, so cute, right? We're going to get you here, honey, I swear. I know it'll take a while, but hang in there with us. Have you ever rinsed out a glass or a piece of clothing for a special occasion and visualized the desired outcome of that occasion? When I wash my car, I say I need safe travel. I know someone who has slept on the same waterbed for a decade, and they respect and talk to the water within this bed as something sacred, like a magical familiar. And why not? Just imagine the energies this water holds. It becomes warmed with your body heat. Here's a decade worth of dreams and passion. It provides the bliss of restful sleep. No other body of water could ever be that intimate. Not only does water wash, but it nourishes and helps things to grow. I don't want to skip past that, though. How cool is that? Yeah, with the same water in it for 10 years. And she uses it as a magical familiar, almost talks to it. Says, you who have seen all. Remember that crappy boyfriend we had 8 years ago? Remember the love that I shared? Let's bring back that love. Let's think about that love tonight as I sleep. She programs that water for what she wants. Perhaps it's no accident that our first meal of mother's milk comes in liquid form. Water is the place where life started, creating a new beginning for the primordial earth. What new beginnings do you yearn for? Water is in the ink in your pen, the wine in your drinking glass. It freezes solid, yet steams away into a vapor. Water makes ripply, splashy noises and swirls around and around into spirals and whirlpools. Okay, correspondences. It is the direction of the west. If you're going to go by traditional correspondences, it is generally thought to be a feminine trait. The altar tools for water are cauldrons, chalice, mirrors. The colors are silver, indigo, blue, and black. Tarot is the cups. Goddesses, Aphrodite, Isis, Mari, Tiamat, Yamaya. Gods, Dylan, Ea, Manannan, Osiris, Neptune, Poseidon. The herbs, all water plants. Water lilies, seaweed, willow trees, aloe, apples, catnip, ferns, lilac, lettuce, moss, rose, and stones, aquamarine, amethyst, pearl, coral, moonstone, lapis lazuli, and sodalite. Again, keep in mind, all of what I'm saying plus a lot more is going to be in your notes. Water strengths: steady, satisfied, team-oriented, good listener, loyal, supportive, sensitive, traditional, cooperative, quiet, consistent, and trusting. Water challenges: complacent, passive, dependent, closed-mouthed, possessive, used by others, doormat. Thin-skinned, lacks vision, unassertive, timid, stubborn, and naive. So the goddess of water. I am the goddess of water. Who is that? You, honey?
Yep.
Yeah, the Pyrex broke. Frank pulled it out of the oven, put it on the top of the oven, and it broke like that. We just wanted to show you. We're not going to leave it like that, but we just wanted to show it to you because Frank was like, holy shit. And you're out early. I thought you didn't get out till 10.
Nope.
I am the goddess. You weren't supposed to get out at 10? I am the goddess of water, who of old was called Venus, Boan, Mazu, Tefnut, Nephthys, and by many other names. I am the keeper of the sacred cauldron, goddess of rebirth and renewal. I am the giver of life and the bringer of fertility to the fields of men. I am the soul of beauty, the whisperer of love, the glimmer of truth. Call upon me and feel, reach for me and love, explore me and live. Look into my depths, for you will see yourself reflected back at you. What you see may please you, or it may frighten you, for I am the goddess of all that is hidden within. Good, good, right? Okay, we're okay. All right, so give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to bring it upstairs. So I don't get divorced. And of course, he has to clean it up, even though I said leave it. Whatever. Okay. Because we still have a little bit left to go. We got to go through the symbols. How are we doing? Oh, yeah, we're okay. All right. Hi, Leanne. Yay, another field trip, right? We're almost done. You guys are doing good. The symbols part should be fairly short. What are your opinions on objects being assigned to body parts? The chalice, the womb. It depends on the object. I will say that for me, the cauldron symbolizing the womb or the chalice symbolizing the womb makes sense to me. Just like the athame symbolizing the fertility, the phallus of the god. I totally, can see where that goes with that. Can I get some healing prayers for my mother? She's in the hospital, fluid in lungs and kidneys. Yes, absolutely. For sure, Melissa. I'll put her in my Reiki basket right here. Okay. To finish off. Okay, that's the end of the elements. Good. Good, good, good. The sword being a man sausage. Some of that stuff makes sense to me. Yes, exactly. I totally understand why, but it makes me feel weird. It's a symbol though. So when you think of it in when you're doing ritual, I can see where it would be like, oh, that's kind of odd. But when you think of doing a ritual, uh-oh. Am I not on? Shit. Am I still on? Am I not on? I am not on, am I? I am. Okay. My computer froze, so I wasn't sure if it was not coming through or if it was and I just couldn't see it on this end. Okay. All right. So if you think of it in the context of ritual, very often in ritual, we are, when we go through the wheel of the year, we are symbolizing, when we talked about the story of the god and goddess, where the god and goddess fall in love and they go through the great rite. Psst, stop, cat. They go through the great rite. Yeah, you. I know you, evil boy, girl. They go through the great rite, and then she becomes pregnant, and then the god dies and is returned to the earth and all that stuff. We symbolize that when we're using the athame and the cauldron at Beltane. We, on many rituals, will make a point of placing the athame into the cauldron or the chalice, and that is specifically to symbolize the great rite. That is nowhere near as weird as Gerald Gardner, who actually would perform the great rite with other, like with his high priestess and stuff. And some covens, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I can't imagine. You probably will not run into, if you're just starting out, you probably will not run into one of those covens, because at this point they are well established and they really are not looking for new people. But they were much more prevalent, probably up until the 80s and 90s, I would say. You will not find many of those around anymore, but it could happen. You never know. I have had people say to me, though, I don't know if I want to come to ritual just because I'm not sure how you celebrate. And, you know, you can kind of usually get the impression that they're asking without asking, because how do you ask? Like, do you perform the great rite? Like, really? But you can kind of get the impression of how they do it. So yeah. Candle wax was the womb and the wick was the manhood. That's different. Celebrate good times. Come on. I'll take the symbolism over actually doing the right. Yeah, exactly. So I guess when you have done paganism, when you have been a pagan for as long as I have, that seems very like, oh, hell yeah, let's symbolize it. That's great. Right? Now, I will tell you, there is something to be said for sex magic. If you're in a relationship, and I shouldn't say that. If it works for you, it works. There are people who are polyamorous, and if that works for them, awesome, good for them. I know people who are polyamorous. I just know it just would not work for me. I think I'm too possessive, or I would be like, hell no. Anytime like somebody else got more attention than me, I don't know, it just wouldn't work. I don't know why. I just know it wouldn't. But if you are in a relationship and you try, sex magic is a wonderful thing, because that the act is a very primal act, and it is a great way to raise energy. It's a great way to raise energy by yourself. You don't have to have a partner to raise that sexual energy. Sexual energy is a very powerful tool. So you can raise energy with sex magic all by yourself. Yep. Hi, over here with the poly. Yeah. See, there you go, Leland. If it works for you, it works. I would like cut I would cut a bitch. I would be so bad with that. I just don't have it in me to. Yep. All right. Energy. Yes, exactly. See, Redrum? Exactly right. Exactly. The amount of energy that we are building and releasing at the point of orgasm is huge. So why wouldn't you direct that energy into some magical working? You don't have to talk about it, but it's huge. Okay. Symbolism. And that's okay, Linda. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. That's okay too. I have included lots of papers, lots of images with lots of different correspondences for pagan symbols and what they mean. I'm going to go over a few of them so that we get the ideas just of the very basic symbols of paganism. And then we'll be done for the night. You hanging in there with me, you guys? I know we've lost some. That's okay. If you're still here, hit that like button if you haven't for me. Although most of you have. Good job tonight. Okay. So the first one we're going to go over is all right, symbols of paganism. So the biggest one that we are faced with, that's okay, Sonia, good night, honey, is the pentagram or the pentacle. There is lots of information around that is technically false information about what each of these mean. The pentagram. So the definition of pentagram is a 5-pointed star that is formed by drawing a continuous line in 5 straight segments, often used as a mystical and magical symbol. It doesn't matter which direction it's facing. It's still a pentagram. This, if it's the top is pointed downward, does not mean evil. It does not necessarily mean Satanism, although many satanic practices use it that way as the horns for Baphomet. It still doesn't mean evil, even if it's used in that way. It doesn't matter which direction it's pointing. It's always a pentacle, or I mean a pentagram. The pentacle is when the circle is around it. The definition of the pentacle is a talisman or magical object, typically disc-shaped and inscribed with a pentagram or other figure, and used as a symbol of the elements. Now, so technically, even though none of us use this term, we could see a seal of Solomon in here in the circle, and it could be called a pentacle. It doesn't have to be a pentagram in there. But most people will see this and say this is a pentacle. That's the kind of term that most people use. What did I miss? The Fae just tried to shove our pants out of the cupboard. Point up, mind over matter. Point down, matter over mind. Yep, and a lot of people use it that way, but it doesn't mean that all the time for everyone. So understand that some people may use it like this, and it means the same thing as if some of us use it like this. Okay. The 4 bottom points of the star symbolize the elements, the traditional elements: air, water, earth, and fire. The topmost, usually, if it's like this, is spirit or the divine. For some pagans, the divine is God or a group of gods and goddesses, but for others, it's more abstract. Regardless, a majority of witches have some conception of divine or spiritual energy that influences and presides over the physical world. That's why the spirit is the one at the top. And finally, we come to the circle. Across many different religions and cultures, this shape represents unity or wholeness, and paganism is no exception. The circle of a pentacle symbolizes the perfect unity of the physical and spiritual worlds. The universe is in harmony when the two become one, and the aim of magic is to achieve this balance. Shauna just said she has heard when the point is down, they are doing deep searching. Oh, yeah. And I could see that. When the spirit is down, you're spiritually really searching, shadow work, maybe that kind of thing. That would be a great thing. Is that door open now or no?
My door.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was going to tell Frank that Dad was home, and of course he flipped out over the thing saying we left a mess instead of we were trying to show him something. But anyway. Okay. The next symbol we're going to go over is this is the triple moon. There's two different, symbols there. It's the same one. The triple moon, the moon is always in flux. As a month progresses, it grows from a small, faint sliver to the bright, radiant full moon. From there, it begins its journey back to nothingness as it grows smaller and smaller. These different phases of the moon, its monthly journey, are encapsulated in this symbol. On the left side of this pagan symbol, you have the waxing moon, in the center the full moon, and on the right, the dying, waning moon. When taken as a whole, these three phases represent the never-ending cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth. The moon acts out this sacred drama month after month in the darkness of the sky. However, the symbol of the triple moon extends deeper. It's also a sign of the triple goddess, the most important representation of feminine divinity within paganism, if you believe in that. Some people do not follow that as a rule. And what is that? That feminine divinity, triple goddess. That is the maiden, mother, and crone. Okay? So the triple goddess, like the moon, the triple goddess moves through three principal stages of her life, and these are contained within the sign. They are the maiden, the mother, and the crone. The maiden is the triple goddess in her youth. She corresponds with the waxing, growing moon in the symbol. She represents new beginnings, love, and purity. I don't follow the triple goddess. Exactly. And some people don't, and that's okay if you don't. Sometimes you can just see this as the goddess itself, and then we'll go over the horned god. We have a symbol for that too. I talk about the maiden, mother, and crone because I think as a woman, it's important to me just to celebrate the cycles of a woman's life, but I don't know if I see it as some people see the importance of the triple goddess in that way. The mother shows the goddess as the nurturing maternal figure that she is. She corresponds with the full moon, and its warm glow is a reflection of her divine love. The mother is a figure of guidance and protection. And the final phase of the moon, the waxing moon, represents the crone. This is the triple goddess at the height of magical abilities. As old age is a time of intense... It hasn't been doing that a lot, has it? Spiritual wisdom, divination, and banishing negativity. Then we get to the horned god. The horned god is the primary male deity of paganism. His symbol has several layers to unpack. At first glance, we see a simple line drawing of what looks like a face with horns at the top. However, if you think back to the symbol of the triple moon, you'll notice that this one looks similar. It could also be interpreted as a slim crescent moon resting on top of a full moon, the Lord and Lady. Of paganism. This similarity to the triple moon is no coincidence. Within paganism, the triple goddess and the horn god are two sides of the same coin, two equal, complementary manifestations of the divine. And that's why paganism, when we talked about deity, we celebrate equally the god and goddess, the feminine and the masculine. When invoking the triple goddess and the horned god as a pair, you may hear them referred to as the Lord and Lady. This is just another way we symbolically link the power of the god with the power of the goddess. The triquetra, or the Celtic knot, is a symbol of threes. The single line it's made from intersects itself exactly 3 times, creating 3 leaf-like sections in the design. Some witches use the Celtic knot as another symbol to represent the triple goddess, and there's nothing wrong with that. She is a goddess closely associated with the number 3, but I think there's more to that than just that. Like the circle, the Celtic knot is made out of one unbroken line that has no start or end. In my mind, this points to the idea of infinity. However, within this infinite line, 3 finite distinct sections are created. Something tangible, something countable emerges from infinity. And this concept ties into the purpose of magic. Magic is all about harnessing and manipulating spiritual power. Although there may be different power sources available to us, they can all be traced back to the infinite, unknowable, and divine energy of the universe. When you perform a spell, you're literally pulling energy from the infinite to create a real-world, finite, and knowable manifestation of that power, just like the Celtic knot nicely symbolizes. So that as above, so below concept. How do we do? Also used for protection. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. And finally, the last one that is very common that I'm going to go over is the Wheel of the Year. The Wheel of the Year helps us to navigate through the ever-changing seasons. And we've done this enough that I'm not going to go into, I mean, you know, the 8 holidays and stuff. I have them. It's one of my main things that I teach, right? Dividing the year into different sections, each with its own important day, is a way to help witches make sense of the passage of time, creates a rhythm that allows us to sync ourselves with the cycles of the earth. So we covered a lot of ground. There are some suggestions of how to incorporate symbols into your magic. You can incorporate them in your altar design. You can use them in candle magic to inscribe a symbol into a candle. You can use them in your jewelry and other accessories. It can be used as a talisman to help create certain energies that you want with you every day. That's just a couple examples. You're going to get creative with how to use these symbols. Then I've given you lots of other representations of symbols. The Ouroboros, the spiral, the key, the spider's web. Then at the very bottom of your notes, it gives you some more information in the form of, hi Dana, in the form of 3 of my Pinterest boards. One of them is my Book of Shadows Elements. I have a whole board for that, and there's the link for that. The Book of Shadows Symbols and Sigils board. I have a link for that. And the Book of Shadows Correspondences. I have a link from that. Hi, Brunella Bear. I like that name. So there's a link to 3 boards that I have pulled information from tonight for tonight's talk from my Pinterest pages. So 3 of the boards. There's lots of other information all throughout my Pinterest, but those are organized in such a way that they would be a little bit easier, hopefully, to find. Okay, so the notes will be posted along with the homework After class, Wednesday will be the big class. Wednesday, if there's any way you can be here Wednesday, I may even extend it to make it a longer class. I have to look at, when I finish my notes for Wednesday, how big a class it's going to be. It's probably the most information we're going to cover in one class that since we've started, though, because we're kind of putting a whole bunch of stuff into this. So try to be here Wednesday. If you can't, you can't. I totally understand that. But be prepared that it's a big one. On Wednesday's homework, there will be, the first question will be, do you want to self-dedicate for Ostara weekend, which will be next weekend? If your answer is yes, then you will get, after Friday's class, you will get they just closed my work because, yeah, see, a lot of people will be here more because of the coronavirus. At least there's something good, right? I'm paying $1,000 a semester for this. No, you're not. You're paying nothing. If you want to join the self-dedication, then I will be sending several different self-dedication rituals that you can use one of, incorporate into your own. It will have, from beginning to end, suggestions of how to go through the entire thing, starting with how to cleanse yourself at the beginning, what kind of things you could put into a bath, what kind of things you could take a shower and think about, that kind of thing, all the way through until the end. What music you could use. I'm going to try to suggest as much of that as possible. Thursday, which means Wednesday night into Thursday, technically is Ostara. But Wednesday is going to be our big class. So we will celebrate on our channel, on my channel, our channel, it is our channel. We will celebrate Ostara Thursday. And then we'll have a final class on Friday. And then Saturday will be the self-dedication, which I will kind of talk about, walk us through a little bit. But it is something that you're going to be doing on your own. The initiation part of it will continue until Beltane so that we have more time to do everything that, because there's so much more information that we can incorporate and go deeper into. Okay, does that sound good? Can we wear graduation witch hats? Of course. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Go find someone with coronavirus and give them a big kiss on the lips so I can get it over with and get over the stress. Oh, poor Pat. All right, so you will get the homeworks and stuff. Try to do as much of the homeworks as you can. If you want to self-dedicate by Saturday, I want to at least be able to see, guys, that you've thought about this, that this is something that you're serious about, that you're ready to dedicate and show the universe that you're dedicated to your own spiritual path. Remember, for the self-dedication, you're not dedicating into my path, nor for the initiation for that matter, although you are saying I'm okay for a teacher for you. But for the self-dedication, you are saying I am dedicating myself to an earth-based path. And so I want to see that you have thought about that. Okay? All right. I love you guys so much. I'm so glad that you all have taken this journey with me. I hope that so far you have learned a lot. I hope that it has opened you up to learn more, that it has hopefully made you a sponge, that you want to pull in as much information and knowledge as you can. That's kind of what this kind of thing does for me. Yep, Pat will be emailing the notes and the link for the homework as soon as class is done. And I will be posting it onto the Facebook page as soon as class is done. All right. Yay. I love you guys. I adore you. Join us tomorrow on my channel. Tomorrow is the Erin Go Bragh. It's the crystal show and sale from Mystic Dragon's Lair. And it starts at 2, I believe. Yay. We'll have a lot of fun again. So I love you guys. Have a good night.